Can Mikel Arteta finally bring silverware back to Arsenal? And even if he doesn't, what he's built has already changed the club's trajectory. Under Arteta, Arsenal have regained their position as one of the strongest teams in Europe, giving their fans absolutely reasons to dream big. I'm Talia Lazarus, and welcome to Football Footnotes. So to really get Arteta's impact, you've got to look at the mess he inherited. After 22 years in charge, Arsene Wenger stepped down as Arsenal manager in 2018. But unlike what happened with Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, where they suffered a serious decline following his departure, at Arsenal things had already been difficult while Wenger was in charge. Wenger absolutely revolutionised Arsenal when he arrived in the late 90s. But by the end of his tenure, the standards had dropped, and there was even a section of the fan base asking for him to leave. And in 2017, Arsenal finished outside the top four for the first time since 1995. The same happened the following year in what was Wenger's final campaign. His successor, Unai Emery, also missed the Champions League spots in his debut season. And even though he reached the Europa League final, a bad run at the start of his second season cost him the job in November 2019. Arsenal next appointed Freddie Ljungberg, who had played for the club during Wenger's golden era, as interim manager. But only 1 month later, another former Gunner was brought in to take his place: Mikel Arteta. Arteta grew up in San Sebastian in the north of Spain, where he was a childhood friend of Xabi Alonso. Both would become successful midfielders and then managers. Arteta trained at Barcelona's legendary La Masia and played for clubs like PSG, Rangers and Real Sociedad before signing for Everton in 2005, where he played for the following 6 years. Then, in 2011, Arteta joined Arsenal. He spent the final years of his career as a gunner, retiring in 2016, having captained the team during his last 2 seasons. And just a couple of months after hanging up the boots, Arteta already started his coaching career by joining Pep Guardiola's staff at Manchester City ahead of his debut season in English football. Arteta worked with Guardiola for 3.5 years before getting the Arsenal job. Guardiola's influence on Arteta was massive, especially tactically, with Arteta bringing some characteristic features of Guardiola's team to his very own Arsenal side, such as the role of the fullback playing inside when in possession. However, Arteta has gone on to apply his own approach. Arteta actually tasted success quite early in his career as Arsenal manager, winning the 2019-2020 FA Cup after beating his former boss Guardiola in the semi-finals. That's gotta hurt, and defeating Chelsea in the final. But results in the league, well, they had to wait. When he took over, they finished 8th and repeated the same position the following year in his first full season in charge. But by 2021, the pressure was mounting, and a bad start raised serious doubts about Arteta's future. But the club, well, they gave him time, and he turned things around. Arsenal improved and ended up narrowly missing the Champions League spots that season. But by then, Arteta and sporting director Edu had overseen a renovation of the squad. Young talents like Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli rose to become key players. And other crucial signings also shaped the face of this brand new Arsenal. But perhaps none was so iconic as the arrival of Martin Ødegaard. The Norwegian wonder kid first joined on loan from Real Madrid in the winter of 2021 and was then signed permanently that summer. And in July 2022, Arteta's very bold move of appointing Ødegaard as the first team captain, well, it raised a few eyebrows, but it worked. The armband proved to be a perfect fit for the Gunners' number 8. Arteta's invigoration of Arsenal came just at the right time. Following the pandemic, fans were enjoying football back in the stadiums, and a special aura surrounded this Arsenal team, and there was a growing sense of excitement on every single match day in North London. The atmosphere, well, it kept getting better during the 2022 and 2023 season, and Arsenal were not just going to make it back to Champions League, all of a sudden, they were also title contenders. Guardiola's City ended up beating Arteta's team in the race, but Arsenal had proven that they were very much back in the mix. The following year, even though the Gunners led the table for a significantly large part of the season, City again edged them to claim the title. It was a very disappointing ending for Arsenal, but it went to show that the previous season, well, it hadn't been a one-off thing. Now, whenever a new season starts, you simply cannot write off Arsenal. in the title challenge. So key signings like Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, Havertz and Declan Rice have pushed Arsenal forward. Meanwhile, promising academy graduates like Mars Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri have continued to make their breakthroughs. And crucially, Arsenal have also built a solid defence with the arrival of centre-backs like Gabriel and the return of loanee William Saliba and the signing of goalkeeper David Raya. So, as discussed earlier, Arteta has developed a different approach to Guardiola's. And whilst remaining a highly capable team in possession, his Arsenal side has learned from past mistakes and now distinguishes itself for its defensive strength. It might not be as flashy as Guardiola's style, but it's ruthless and it is built to win. And finally, another key actor behind the scenes is set-piece coach Mikel Arteta, who came alongside Arteta from City. Together, they have made sure every single rival shivers when Arsenal get a corner or a free kick. So, Arteta's Arsenal has proven to be an evolving, competitive team that absolutely can dream big. The foundations are solid, and Arteta is, after all, one of the longest-serving managers in the league. Their near misses to the titles should only make their hunger for success even greater. So, here is the real question. Can Arteta's Arsenal finally go all the way, or do they still need one or two game changers to beat Liverpool and City to the title? There are enough reasons for Arsenal fans to absolutely enjoy life under Arteta, but there is nothing like winning trophies. So drop your take in the comments, like the video, and hit subscribe for more Football Footnotes. I'm Talia Lazarus, and I'll see you next time.